everyone, it's Moose, and thank you so much for joining me back here. Today we're going to do another Hooked or Booked. We're going to do another book review. We're going to be talking about The Cold is in Her Bones. I'm going to tell you about it. I just finished this book today, and I have some mixed feelings about it. So we're going to go over that, and I'm going to tell you whether it's hooked or whether it's booked. I have somewhere to put it today. Okay. I like the spot. It's a good spot. So this book is by Peter Nell Van Arsdale, I think is how you say it. And my coworker and I were talking about it and said that, you know, it looked kind of interesting, so I checked it out. This book is about a girl named Mila, and Mila lives in a town where this woman, in years past, it's like a demon woman, she cursed the town. The curse causes all the crops and stuff to rot, and like no food grows, everything's dreary, and insects come and they invade everything. That, and every girl who is like in a certain range but not older than 18 is susceptible to being taken by the demon as well. And she's the demon. Like, she gets inside of their heads, she talks to them, she persuades them to do stuff that they normally wouldn't do. And so they send all of the possessed girls off to the place. That's what it's called. It's like an asylum, basically, for girls that were taken by the demon. In this book, Mila has a brother named Nicholas, and Nicholas is getting old enough to where he's thinking about getting married and that kind of stuff. And the girl he's thinking about getting married to is named Iris. Iris and Mila grow very close, and they become like sisters pretty much. They call each other their sisters. You know, Mila's never had a sister. She's never met anybody apart from her family and her neighbors until Iris comes to their farm. She's very secluded. Their parents have protected her because they don't want her to get possessed by the demon. So Iris is the first other girl that she has ever met, especially around her age. So naturally, the two grow very close. So eventually, a day comes and Iris starts hearing the demon inside of her head too, and so she's eventually taken to the place. This isn't a spoiler, it's all written, you know, on the dust jacket of the summary of what the book's about. So Mila tries to find a way to save Iris and essentially lift the curse from the town. That way no one else has to go through this either. And along the way, she finds that she is having some symptoms, I guess you could say, of the demon as well. I don't want to spoil how the book ends. I do want to say it was kind of predictable. I wasn't mad at it, but again, I wasn't like thrilled at it either. It's just one of those deals where I knew it was coming. I kind of figured that's how it was going to end. Like, how else could it end? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not a lot of ways that it could have ended. And so I just kind of figured that that is what it would go towards anyways. Overall, I would say this book is all right. I didn't find myself constantly wanting to pick it up to find out what happened next or anything like that. I never had any I never had any like deep emotional connection with the characters. I didn't really care much whether they died or they lived. I know that sounds kind of awful. I didn't care whether they were possessed or not. The concept of the story is really cool. However, I feel like if you're going to write a book about demons, it needs to be thrilling. Like, you need to get into the nitty-gritty of it. You really need to make these girls like the most awful girls you can ever have. That's what demons do in my eyes, at least. Demons are kind of a bad thing, you know. These girls aren't like that. They just get really mean and really rude. And I had a bit of a problem with that. It's not what I was expecting. When I read the summary on the dust jacket and saw that this book was about demons, I was expecting a lot more from it. It was not as intense as it could have been or should have been, at least in my eyes. Even though I had a problem with the plot aspect of it, the book was well written. I never had any problems like following along. I didn't get lost anywhere. It was very smooth, not dumbed down. This is a YA novel too, and I know I always point that out, but I think it's important to point out because as older people, and you know, a lot of the people who read YA are not teenagers anymore. You know, they're young adults, sure, but a lot of the times YA and teen fiction are kind of joined together. This is a YA novel, but it doesn't dumb down the language to make you feel like a younger audience. The writing is fine. The plot is what I can't get past. That's all I really had to say about this book, though. As far as like what I liked about it and what I didn't, like I say, I didn't hate the book, but I didn't like it. I don't know how do you ride the fence on that? You either like a book or you don't, right? But I don't know. Like, it's definitely not my favorite book of the year or anything like that, or even the month. But I didn't hate it. Like, it wasn't awful. Like I say, the writing was fine. The plot was fine for what it was. It's just, like I say, if you're going to go for demons, you got to go for it. What even? With that being said, that is my personal opinion of this book. That's what I was expecting from it. That's what I expect whenever I hear a book is about demons. I just expect something intense and brutal, and that's not what I was given. However, that does not mean you will not like this book. It just was not for me. So with that being said, when it comes to Hooked or Booked, this book is just, it's booked for me. It's booked. It's out of here. I don't care much for it. I wouldn't recommend it to somebody else. And that's really the determining factor when it comes to whether something's hooked or booked for me. I wouldn't recommend it to someone else. If they wanted to hear about it, I'll tell them about it. I'm telling you guys about it right now. But if am I going to tell you that you really need to go out and read this book right now? No. You can never read this book, and I think you would be okay. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm being a little harsh. Oh well. That's all I really had to say about this book today, though, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below. Leave your comments if you've read it. Let me know what you thought about it. I did some research and kind of looked into some reviews and stuff like that. I didn't find anything on YouTube. Doesn't mean no one's read the book. So if you have, please let me know what you thought about it down below. I haven't seen anybody talking about it, so I just want to know what other people think as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We'll be back here next time, guys. See ya. To burp. It wasn't a very good one. I feel like it's still stuck. It didn't work. There it was. It wasn't very big. Dang it. I think I have heartburn.